some Spartina or fill in a contaminated area. The law does, the regulations in the law diverge a little bit. The law, I think, expresses a strong preference for real restoration, and it's different from just your response efforts for the most part. And I think because of this, you want to focus, I think trustees in general want to focus on primary restoration. Here you're talking about an ecosystem that may well have been destroyed to some extent. It can still be rehabilitated and restored. I mean, you're talking about the life cycle of fish. You're talking about oyster beds. And the only way to really deal with that is to get the contaminants, the source material, out of the marshes, the wetlands, and really out of the Gulf at some point. This is going to be an interesting primary restoration challenge because you're going to, you can't let the Gulf sit idle for generations while the oil works its way through the system. And I think that's going to be a major challenge that we all face. When you talk about primary restoration, it's important to remember, Gulf of Mexico is one of the greatest natural resources in America, if not in the world. It's more than the mere sum of its parts. The Gulf, its beaches, recreational opportunities, sport fishing, powers $1 billion plus tourism industry. At present, based on statistics from Louisiana Department of Tourism, 26% of people who had planned vacations in Louisiana this year have already canceled as a result of the spill. And it just gets worse each day. Louisiana is, as our license plates proclaim, a sportsman's paradise for both residents and local. Louisiana leads the nation in the highest marine recreation catches of any state. According to our wildlife and fisheries people, it's a $1.7 billion industry. For example, my kids and I will rent a boat, go out into the Gulf a couple times a year, fish, bring the fish home. We don't really fish in Louisiana. You more catch, and you do a lot of catching, at least before the spill you did. Louisiana commercial, besides recreational fishing, we've got Louisiana commercial fishing and oyster industries. They make up about 26% of the nation's commercial fisheries and will likely sustain over $2.5 billion in short-term losses. For example, 86% of consumers believe that the oyster beds in Louisiana are contaminated and you should not eat Louisiana oysters or Gulf oysters. 40% believe that there are insufficient safeguards and protections on seafood coming out of the Gulf, including Louisiana fishermen's products, which means that you're going to be gutting a very important business. Fishing is closed in tens of thousands of square miles currently. It keeps changing. We're really witnessing nothing short of the collapse of an ecosystem right now. Habitat is shrinking.